Max Chen stood at the front of the bustling Temporal Exploration Agency, a place where time travelers were more common than common sense. He straightened his tie, one that had definitely seen better days, and cleared his throat, ready to present his latest hypothesis. The room buzzed with anticipation, filled with the smell of burnt coffee and the hum of malfunctioning gadgets. Ladies and gentlemen, he began, pulling up a slideshow that displayed a swirling vortex and the words, "Origin of the Universe." He could feel the room leaning in. "I believe we've finally located the source of the time fractures affecting our experiments. It's right here at that moment, a small device on his desk, the Time Twister 3000, sputtered and glowed ominously. Max hadn't even finished his sentence when it started to spin. Technical difficulties," he joked, sweat beading on his brow. The audience snickered, but the device was relentless. It looped, making Max repeat his punchline every 10 seconds. "It's right here at he grimaced as the laughter grew louder, the kind that swelled from deep within. His colleagues were in stitches, and he felt like a clown at a kid's party. Then, as if by fate, the spinning device sparked. Suddenly, a time loop engulfed the room, trapping everyone in a whirlwind of laughter and absurdity. To everyone's shock, this chaotic glitch revealed a hidden time fracture in the agency's simulation. Max, for once, was hailed as a hero. "That's it," shouted Dr. Lila Voss, a physicist with hair that resembled an explosion of static. "We need to investigate the source of this fracture." And just like that, they were off. Max, Lila, their overly cautious tech guru Eddie, and Nina, the historian with a penchant for adventure, boarded the Chrono Cruiser, a rickety vessel that looked like a vintage car mated with a spaceship. Max flopped into the driver's seat, and Eddie instantly began checking the safety protocols. "Again, relax, Eddie," Max said, grinning. "It's not like we're flying into a black hole." Eddie adjusted his glasses nervously. "That's exactly what I'm afraid of." As they jumped through time, the cruiser sputtered and jerked. They landed in a timeline that looked like a surreal painting, everything vibrant and absurd. Famous historical figures milled about, but instead of engaging in grand endeavors, they were stuck doing the most mundane tasks. "Is that Shakespeare making lattes?" Nina asked, pointing out the bard behind the counter of a cafe. "Yes, and I think I saw Cleopatra doing yoga in the corner," Lila added with a laugh. In their first challenge, they had to solve a riddle posed by Einstein, who was vehemently debating a group of philosophical time travelers over the meaning of existence. "Time is a flat circle," one philosopher exclaimed, waving his arms dramatically. "Or a donut," Max countered, unable to resist. Laughter erupted, and for a brief moment, he felt like he belonged. As the conversation turned into a hilariously absurd debate about pastries and the nature of time, the team managed to glean vital information about the fracture. It was tied to their own timelines and fears. "We need to move closer," Lila said, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "The fracture's energy is unstable." But as they approached the origin point, the fabric of reality began to unravel. Gravity fluctuated wildly, and the team found themselves tumbling through alternate versions of their lives. Max watched as Eddie morphed into a superhero version of himself, complete with a cape and a ridiculous emblem, a giant clock. "I am Captain Chrono," Eddie declared, flexing his muscles. Lila, meanwhile, was seeing herself as a reclusive genius, shunning all human contact to focus on her theories. Max found himself as a famous comedian, but only able to tell the same joke over and over again. "Okay, folks," he said, waving to a non-existent audience. "Knock, knock." This chaotic experience led to tension among the team. "You can't just joke your way through this," Lila snapped, frustration boiling over. "Easy for you to say, Einstein." Max shot back, pointing dramatically, but just as their argument reached a boiling point, they were struck by a realization: they were all grappling with their insecurities, using humor as a shield. In that moment of vulnerability, they found common ground. "We need each other," Nina said softly, "to face this together." Reunited in their mission, they forged ahead, determined to confront the fracture. They arrived at its epicenter, a swirling, chaotic vortex of energy that seemed to pulse with their fears and dreams. "Okay, let's stabilize this thing," Lila said, pulling out her notes, while Eddie set up his gadgets, and Nina recited historical facts that turned into incantations of hope, but the chaos intensified. Time loops spiraled around them, and the team struggled to keep their footing. In a moment of clarity, Max realized the fracture was a reflection of their journey, a blend of their past fears and future potential. "Wait. We can't control time," he shouted over the noise. "We have to embrace the chaos." In a hilarious climax, they devised a plan that involved Lila's elastic time theory, Eddie's tech gadgets, and Nina's historical insights. They danced through the vortex, laughing and screaming, their joy fueling their efforts. As they stabilized the fracture, Max found himself face to face with an alternate version of himself, a version filled with regret and missed opportunities. "You have to let go," that version whispered. With a surge of understanding, Max embraced the chaotic nature of time and reality. The fracture shimmered, and with a final burst of energy, they succeeded in harnessing its power. Back in the Temporal Exploration Agency, they presented their findings, their faces glowing with the thrill of their adventure. Max stood at the front, this time in control, sharing their experiences with a mix of humor and gravity, and then, he concluded, "We realized that the chaos of time is just part of life. Embrace it." As he finished, the Time Twister 3000 sparked back to life, and a loop of laughter filled the room once again. Everyone chuckled, knowing that some things, like the unexpected, were just part of the adventure. Max grinned, shaking his head. "Well, here we go again." And just like that, the story of their journey would continue, spiraling through time, laughter echoing in their wake. As laughter erupted in the Temporal Exploration Agency, Max couldn't help but feel a mix of embarrassment and exhilaration. The Time Twister 3000 continued to sputter and whirl, casting flickering lights across the room like a disco ball at a retro party. He raised his hands, palms facing outward, and called for calm. "Okay, everyone, focus. We've just returned from the edge of time, and I think we might have a few things to discuss, mostly how not to get trapped in a time loop again." The room settled, but the gleeful chatter about their wild adventure lingered. Dr. Lila Voss elbowed her way to Max's side, her eyes wide with enthusiasm. "Did you see the look on Einstein's face when you called him a pastry? Priceless. I think we've truly made history." Eddie, still adjusting to the sudden return to normalcy, pulled out his notebook and scribbled down the key points they discovered. "If I can just remember how to translate time theories into practical applications, but we should also consider the ramifications of what we've done. We don't fully understand the energy we've unleashed." "Ah, come on, Eddie," Nina chimed in, her voice playful. "Live a little. We just stabilized a time fracture. What are the chances we'll do it again anytime soon?" Max chuckled at the light banter, relishing the camaraderie they had built. It was moments like these that made the chaos worthwhile. They had ventured into the unknown and returned with stories that would fuel countless conversations over coffee and late-night brainstorming sessions. "All right, team," he said, grinning broadly. "Let's gather our notes and prepare a comprehensive report. This is going to be a game-changer for the agency." As they worked together, sorting through data and weaving their experiences into a coherent narrative, the atmosphere in the agency shifted. Laughter faded into serious discussions about the implications of their journey, the nature of time, and how it intertwined with their lives. "Think about it," Max proposed, pacing as he spoke. "We've learned that time isn't just a straight line. It's messy and tangled, like a ball of yarn that a cat has gotten hold of." "Or a cosmic donut," Lila added with a smirk, recalling their earlier discussions with Einstein. "Exactly. And it's not just about finding the right path but also about how we navigate through the chaos," Max continued, energized by their newfound understanding. "What if we could teach others how to embrace this? What if we created a seminar? Embracing the Chaos of Time, a guide to thriving in the unknown." Eddie groaned, but there was a hint of a smile on his face. "Great, just what the world needs, more time travelers who don't know where they're going." Nina leaned forward, her eyes sparkling with mischief. "I think it sounds fantastic. We could even have interactive workshops. Create your own time loop." Max laughed, picturing participants stuck in loops of their own making, trying to figure out how to escape while also learning profound lessons. "It could be a hit. We can give out prizes for the most creative loops." The excitement bubbled among the team as they brainstormed ideas, their earlier frustrations forgotten in the light of their shared triumph. It was as if the very act of discussing their adventure had reignited the spark that had brought them together in the first place. As the day wore on, they finally wrapped up their report, filled with diagrams, theories, and a healthy dose of humor. They agreed to present it the next morning, and with a collective sigh of relief, they left the agency, the thrill of adventure still fresh in their minds. The following morning, they gathered in the main conference room, filled with colleagues and fellow time enthusiasts. Max stood at the front, flipping through the slides that showcased their journey. "Today, we're going to take you through the most chaotic experience of our lives, an adventure at the very edge of time." The room was packed, and as he shared the story of their misadventures, from the ridiculous debates with historical figures to the absurdity of Eddie's superhero alter ego, laughter filled the air. Colleagues leaned in, captivated by the tales of unraveling physics and the surreal realities they encountered. Max highlighted the importance of their discovery, not just for scientific advancement but for understanding the human experience in the face of chaos. "Life, like time, can be unpredictable. But if we learn to navigate the unknown with humor and friendship, we can turn our challenges into opportunities." When they finished, the applause was thunderous. Max exchanged glances with Lila, Eddie, and Nina, their hearts swelling with pride. They had not only completed a significant mission but had also inspired others with their story. As the day progressed, they were approached by fellow researchers, excited to discuss potential collaborations and new projects. Max felt the agency's energy shift, igniting a wave of creativity that promised fresh adventures ahead. A few weeks later, while preparing for a seminar on time theory, Max found himself reflecting on their journey. The agency had indeed embraced the chaos, using their experience to explore new timelines and ideas. One day, as he flipped through notes, he stumbled upon a forgotten sketch, a doodle of the time fracture, surrounded by laughing faces. It reminded him of that wild journey, how it had changed their lives. He felt a warmth in his chest, knowing that they had forged something special through their shared experiences. As he shared the doodle with his team, they all laughed, reminiscing about the chaos and camaraderie that had brought them together. "We should do something with this," Max suggested. "Maybe it could be our logo for the seminar? Or a t-shirt?" Eddie chimed in, already imagining the designs. "Embrace the chaos, now that's a slogan." Nina added with a grin. As they planned their seminar, Max realized that their journey had taught them more than just the intricacies of time. It had illuminated the importance of connection, laughter, and embracing uncertainty. It had transformed their approach to exploration, inviting others to join them in a dance with the unpredictable. On the day of the seminar, attendees filled the room, eager to learn about the wonders of time travel. Max stood at the front, flanked by Lila, Eddie, and Nina, all wearing matching t-shirts emblazoned with their new slogan. "Welcome to Embracing the Chaos of Time," Max announced, grinning. "Let's take a leap into the unknown together, shall we?" As they launched into their presentation, laughter echoed through the room, the energy palpable. They shared their stories, the joys and absurdities of their adventure, and the lessons learned along the way. By the end of the seminar, Max felt a sense of fulfillment. They had created a space where laughter mingled with learning, a community eager to explore the unknown. As the crowd dispersed, a young woman approached Max, her eyes bright with curiosity. "I loved your presentation. What's next for you all?" Max exchanged a glance with his team, and a sense of excitement coursed through him. "Oh, we have plenty more adventures planned. The universe is full of mysteries just waiting to be explored." With that, he felt the familiar spark of adventure reignite within him. The edge of time was no longer just a destination, it was a journey, a chaotic, beautiful journey shared with friends, and so, as laughter echoed around him and the promise of new adventures loomed ahead, Max Chen knew this was only the beginning. The possibilities were endless, and he was ready to embrace every moment of the ride.